Got you too. All I Want Is You at number 10 on this fantasy playlist. July 30th, 1989. Up 8 from number 18 from Rattle and Hum. The fourth single from Rattle and Hum did a lot better on my fantasy playlist than it did on Billboard's Hot 100. The song peaked at number 83 on Billboard's Hot 100. But don't get too caught up in these chart positions. It wasn't played that much on pop radio, but hot rotation on MTV. VH1 played this video too. Played the heck out of this video, if I remember correctly. 30 years ago, this video resonates as much now as it did back then. Shot in black and white. It was shot near Rome, Italy, a circus situation directed by a guy named Mayurt Avis. Mayurt Avis has directed a lot of videos. Some of these videos very powerful. He directed Brilliant Disguise by Bruce Springsteen, Tunnel of Love. God, just great, fantastic video. And One Step Up by Bruce Springsteen. He directed that video too. And that video, like this video, All I Want Is You, shot in black and white. If I remember correctly, the Bruce Springsteen One Step Up back in the spring of 1988. The video, I wrote down the exact date this video was shot, but it's somewhere buried in my notes. I can't find it. Actually, I think I got it. It was shot on April the 18th, 1989. Got a circus situation, a midget infatuated with a drop-dead gorgeous trapeze artist, and the richness. Part of the richness of this video is the ambiguity. It's unclear whether it's the trapeze artist or if it's the midget who got killed. Remember, the midget climbed up on the ladder or whatever it was and dropped, or so it seemed. And there's been a lot of speculation. Was it the trapeze artist or was it the midget who got killed in the video? The Edge said it was the Edge, a member of U2, said it was a trapeze artist. But the dynamic in this video that I find so fascinating, the most riveting, the chemistry between the midget and the trapeze artist. Note the stark eye contact, particularly when the nighttime scene, and then you got the trapeze artist and her boyfriend drinking, sharing a drink and a kiss, and she's grinning, and then here's the midget. He's looking at her, she's looking at him, and the smile just fades. It just evaporates. That look of joy or happiness evaporates, and it's unclear. She seems interested in the midget, but is the interest platonic? Is it physical? Is it more like an older sister to a younger brother? Or is it guilt? Is it a pity situation where she pities him? Or is it a mix of all these? Is it just one big gray area of all these emotions of physical desire, of wanting, a friendship, of pity, of maybe guilt? Was it a former flame of some sort? Was he a former flame, the midget? And these questions are unanswered. It is a friggin' Pandora's box. It's an archetype. It's an old theme that goes back to antiquity and humanity. The idea of someone who is rather marginal having an infatuation or falls in love with somebody who is just absolutely just beautiful. But it can't match because there's somebody else. There's always the Prince Charming. The big guy, you got the big muscular boyfriend, and yet she seems unhappy with him. And therefore you've got this very curious dynamic between the boyfriend, the trapeze artist, and the midget. And I'm sure I'm just only touching the tip of the iceberg. But the ambiguity helps make this video. That's one of the reasons why this video is so timeless. Because people will watch this video 200 or 300 years from now and they're thinking, well, what's going on here? What's really going on between the midget and the trapeze artist? And some people may have the answer and some people may not. Video directed by Mike. Well, I've already mentioned the guy who directed the video. Oh, by the way, the last video that he directed that I saw on Wikipedia was Bush came out with a song. Remember Bush from the 90s, The Sound of Winter, came out back in 2011. He directed the video, and I think I've already mentioned the video that he directed by Bruce Springsteen. String arrangements done by Van Dyke Parks, who also worked on the Beach Boys' Smile album, which was not released, at least not released initially back in the 60s, but the guy, the record weeps because he did such a brilliant job on the strings. If you could see the song, if somehow the song, you could see the song, you can see those musical notes just weeping like tears, the strings, and the synchronicity between the theme of the song and the theme of the video is astounding. Because, you know, a lot of times the theme of the video is a lot different from the theme of the song, but it's just all together. One other thing that struck me about this song, speaking of the 60s, when I first heard the song, that quiet guitar intro reminds me a lot of some of the psychedelic folk rock and roll records, some of these of the late 60s and early 70s, songs like Rick Nelson doing She's an Artist in 1969, and oh gosh, White Bird by It's a Beautiful Day in late 69, early 70, just got that kind of flavor, this U2 song. You know, U2, they were geniuses. They could be very commercial and yet experimental at the same time. I'll have to dub them a genius band. Don't want to put them up there with the Beatles, but boy, they're up there. U2. One of the homages of this video, paying homage to the movie Freaks by Todd Browning, which is kind of a cult classic, really, which came out back in 1932. Video shot near Rome. I've probably already mentioned that. But I still wonder about that chemistry. It still haunts me. The chemistry between the midget and the trapeze dancer. Sometimes it makes you kind of wonder, could a woman so beautiful as that, who can get any man she wants, can she fall in love with a midget? Well, who knows? That was kind of a silly question. That's one of those questions. That's one of those questions. It's silly, it's cheesy, and yet it's cosmic at the same time. U2, All I Want Is You at number 10 on my fantasy playlist, July 30th, 1989.